In 1987, Kenner released the second series of toys in their Real Ghostbusters toy line. The first wave, which had been dropped at Christmas in 1986, had proven to be a hit, so they wasted no time getting the second series out by spring of 1987. It included everything from Series 1 and added several new Ghost figures. It also added the Ghostbusters iconic ride, the Ecto-1. And today, we're going to be taking a look at the Ecto-1 here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out the Ecto-1 from the 1987 Real Ghostbusters toy line by Kenner. The Ecto-1, also known as the Ectomobile, is absolutely one of the most recognizable vehicles in pop culture history. The actual car is a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor Futura. The car was manufactured to be a professional end-loader variety ambulance or hearse, which many already know. But the fact that the Ghostbusters drive around in a hearse is an extra level of awesome in my opinion. The toy version is highly stylized, but it's very obviously the same car, and I consider this quite possibly the best toy in the entire line. And now that we know a bit more about the Ecto-1, let's take a closer look. We're going to start with the front grille, where you can see the classic Ecto-1 license tag, which of course is on the film version, and I showed it in the opening, as well as the cartoon version here. I'm a big fan of the dual hood ornaments, and the headlights are really excellent as well. They went the extra mile in the hubcaps and made them actual vac metal chrome, so they really stand out, and these are still in excellent condition with almost no scratches at all. The driver door and the passenger door can both open up, and as you can see, there is a fully realized interior inside with steering wheel and seat. Upon closer inspection, you can see that the dashboard is very detailed, and there's even a radio over on the right. The seat is a typical bench seat you would see from that era, complete with an armrest, and actually has some pretty nice texturing on it. Here's a quick look at Winston with the Ecto-1, since he's typically shown driving it on the box art. Of course, the figures are scaled perfectly to the Ecto-1, and they look very nice either standing next to it or in the driver's seat. The rear doors on the Ecto-1 do not open like the front ones. They are there just for show. And that leads us to these amazing Cadillac fins and taillights, as well as whatever these are. I just think the whole rear end of the car looks incredible. Here's a better look at the taillights, as well as these ports, I guess, and then the dual exhaust, which we'll be coming back to. The Ghostbusters emblem is here on the hatch, and even though they went with clear plastic windows everywhere else, for some reason they went with a sticker on the back. I imagine it saved them a bit of money on production cost. Now the rear hatch can be opened, and it reveals the ghost catching claw inside. As you can see, it sits in that little recess, and all you have to do is grab it and pull it out. It removes quite easily, and let's go ahead and take a closer look at it right now. It has some interesting details on it, as you can see, and it is ratcheted when you open it. These little pegs here pop into place, so it does actually have grip. And that's good because you need it to reel in the included ghost. This nylon cord is attached to the end of the hook, and it feeds through a hole right here from the bottom of the Ecto-1. And here's a better look at the recess that the claw sits in. The claw can reel itself in via this gear right here, which is operated through a switch. Now right now it's freewheeling, but if you take the switch, which is the exhaust, and flip it down, it engages the gear, and now when you roll the car forward, it will reel in the claw. To switch it back to freewheeling, all you have to do is flip the exhaust back, and now the car rolls without reeling the claw in. Of course, you don't have to flip the car over to activate this feature. It's quite easy. You just do that, and now you're reeling, and when you drive the car, there you go, it pulls in the ghost. My only question is, how does a metal claw grab a ghost? I thought you needed a proton stream for that. Oh well. Here's a look at the top of the Ecto-1 without the gunner chair. You can see the iconic blue lights right here, as well as all the other modifications and equipment that were added to the top of the Ecto-1 by the Ghostbusters. Don't forget that this thing was a hunk of junk when they bought it.
Hey Egon! Egon!
Yes?
Ray found the car. It just needs some suspension work and shocks, and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end, maybe new rings, also new mufflers, and maybe a little wiring. What do you think?
It sounds like that car should be condemned. Good thing Egon was wrong. Anyway, here's a better look at the gunner seat, which you can see has a couple joysticks here and another one on the other side. It also has a seat belt with a hole right here, and that pops onto this little peg. Here at the end of the chair, there is a little footrest, and the guns do move independently, full 360 if you'd like. Like the interior bench seat, the gunner chair has some pretty nice texturing, and on the bottom here you see a giant peg, and that's how you pop it onto the top of the Ecto-1. This giant hole here is obviously where it goes, and it pops in, no problem whatsoever. Venkman is typically in the gunner chair on the box art, so I figured I'd use him to show you what it looks like with a figure in it. His seatbelt is securely fastened, and the chair can move a full 360 degrees. The passenger side of the Ecto-1 is identical to the driver's side, but I did want to point out that I have a tiny bit of damage on my passenger door sticker. A minor issue on an otherwise pristine toy. Now we're going to take a look at the included Ghost with the Ecto-1. He's just called Ghost as far as I can tell on the box, but he is pretty cool looking. I do like that he has his little arms here hanging down, and I really like his mouth as well. Here on the back side, you can see he's got a pretty cool looking tail, and his legs make him look almost frog-like. He is very similar to the ghosts that are included with the Real Ghostbusters themselves, and he fits in very well with that set. On the bottom of the Ecto-1, you can see the copyright information, 1984 Columbia Pictures, made in Mexico, and also on the bottom of the gunner chair, 1984 Columbia Pictures, made in Mexico. And now for our He-Man size comparison. He-Man is a little bit bigger than the Ecto-1, so he wouldn't fit in the driver's seat, but I feel like with a little finagling, I probably could get him in the gunner chair. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Ecto-1 from the 1987 Real Ghostbusters toy line by Kenner. I love this toy, but man, it is huge. It was extremely difficult to film, and I've realized now that I need to expand the area where I film my toys because I have way bigger vehicles than this, and I really want to start doing them. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.